It has been 8 years since the terrorist attacks that changed America, but some who escaped the carnage of the World Trade Center say it feels like they just left the building. Leslie Haskin was on the 36th floor of the North Tower when the first plane hit. She wrote a book called Between Heaven and Ground Zero, and she joins us live from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Leslie, it is so good to see you again. You were telling me just a moment ago it's been, what, 3 years?
I think it's been about 3 years,
Since we last spoke?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for having me again.
Oh, please. It's my pleasure. I want to get to how you're doing these days in a moment, but if you would, you know, this is one of those then and now interviews. So how often do you think about this day and 8 years ago?
Gosh, every day. Every day. I was just, having a conversation earlier and saying to someone that for the world, the time continues to move, and it's 5 years and 6 years and 7 and 8 years that goes by. But for me, it's every day is September 11th and September 12th. So every day I remember it.
You write in your first book, 1 minute I was in the stairs and the next oblivion. Tell me more about that oblivion.
Everything happened so fast, and everything was just beyond comprehension. I mean, it was the worst of the worst. And so in 1 minute, I was living my life. I was an executive for a very large insurance company. And then the next minute, I was in this horrible reality that was really unimaginable. It was like being nowhere and at the same time, kind of absorbing all of this and seeing the most hideous things you can imagine.
No, I won't go there. I was going to ask you, well, I will.
Okay.
Is there an image that remains seared in your brain from that day?
There are several. I think the most, the one that I remember most was walking past a woman who was trying to have a conversation. She was trapped and she was trying to pass me a note, and she passed away just in the middle of her sentence. Never got the sentence out. And the look on her face and just the reality of how short life is, that we can be here 1 minute and gone the next, is what stays with me most. And it's her face and that realization that drives me.
Wow. We'll talk about what it's driving you toward in just a moment. You told our booker this morning, Marilyn Joseph, it happened 8 years ago, but I feel like I just got out of that building yesterday. It is my life. I live that every day.
Right.
Do you suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder?
I do, yes.
Did you ever seek help in dealing with that, with your emotions surrounding that day 8 years ago?
I did. In the beginning, the few years, the years that immediately followed 9/11, I was committed to a psychiatric hospital, as most people already know, and I did see a psychiatrist and was heavily medicated for a very long time after 9/11. I still suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, but I'm not on the medication anymore, and I'm not seeing any psychiatrists. I'm just living free in my relationship with God and in faith that God is bigger than post-traumatic stress disorder or anything else, and that's what works for me.
Very quickly, what's helped you, to the extent that you have, turn the corner on this in your life?
I'm sorry?
What's helped you turn the corner on this very dark day that has led to, a pretty difficult chapter of your life? What's helped you turn it around so that you can get up and function from day to day?
It's been my relationship with God and the people that God has put in my life to be a good support. I have an amazing pastor, a wonderful brother, good friends, and a son who loves his mom, in spite of his mom, So, God is just real in my life in our relationship and in the people that he's put in my life. And
Well,
that's what keeps me going.
Leslie, you've written 2 books, Between Heaven and Ground Zero, and God Has Not Forgotten About You.
Right.
I assume they're available for folks to purchase if they'd like to. And very quickly, where can folks find your books?
They can go to the quickest, easiest way is to go to Amazon.
Right.
They're also in bookstores, but I go to Amazon. It's quick, it's easy.
It is so good to see you after all these
Thank
years.
you.
You look
too.
fantastic.
I do, don't I?
Yeah, you do. Stay strong.
Thank you so much.
And thank
Life
you for your
is
time,
good.
Leslie.
Thanks
Yes,
for having
yeah,
me.
yeah.